is Trinity, and today I want to discuss whether Black youth can thrive in current school environments. We'll start in April of 2025. Students at Honey Creek Elementary School in Rockdale County, Georgia, entered their cafeteria where signs were above the water fountains that read, "For whites only" and "For coloreds only." The signs were mistakenly left by a first grade teacher who did a history lesson about the integration of public schools in Ruby Bridges in 1960. The outraged mother of one Black student addressed the school board, demanding the teacher be held accountable, insisting that all of the students deserved an apology because encountering these segregation-era signs was unacceptable. This mother's concerns pointed to the trauma that this incident caused for some students. In 1953, another student who experienced the traumas and horrors of segregation was Assata Shakur. Shakur grew up in both the North and the South and experienced minimally resourced segregated schools in North Carolina before attending integrated schools in New York, where she was treated as inferior because she was Black. Her experiences in school motivated her activism, and fighting for equitable education was one reason why Shakur decided to join the Black Panther Party. As this mother from Honey Creek Elementary School observed and Shakur experienced, racial disparities surface in schools in various ways. 70 years after Brown v. Board of Education desegregated schools, 1/3 of American students attend schools of predominantly the same race. The resegregation of schools shows that racial and economic disparities still prevent children of color from having adequate access to resources and opportunities. Statistics show that racially segregated schools are a product of economically segregated neighborhoods. And for Shakur, this disparity was real, and her experience gave her the desire to fight for equal education for Black students, which she did through the Black Panther Party. Shakur's desire for the education of Black people pushed her to become an organizer within the party to address systemic oppression. The pushback against the Black Panther Party's efforts to provide equal education to Black children is the reason why racial disparities in schools are still prominent today. Schools were court-mandated to integrate, but economic disparities were not met. Students of color receive disproportionate discipline that pushes them towards the school-to-prison pipeline, and publicly funded Black-led schools have been met with hostility. Shakur worried that racial disparities in the school system damages children because children are shaped by their conditions, and this continues to be proven true. In 2025, segregated schooling continues to disadvantage Black youth, leaving a lasting effect into adulthood. Schools are more segregated in 2025 than they were in the late 60s. Okay, now let's jump back to 1954, when there was the U.S. Supreme Court ruling in Brown v. Board of Education that integrated public schools. After that, when the Supreme Court began to issue rulings that allowed school districts to be released from that court-ordered desegregation in 1991, districts began to revert back to neighborhood-based assignments, which in turn began to resegregate schools. The public school population in the U.S. is extremely diverse, but it appears to be segregated by race, ethnicity, and/or socioeconomic status. 70% of students attend public schools in their neighborhoods, and Black and Latino students are 7 times more likely to attend schools that are in poverty and are often understaffed, underfunded, and lack college preparatory courses, as well as other opportunities like extracurriculars. Okay, now to circle back to Assata Shakur. Shakur cared deeply about the education of Black youth. Shakur's deep sense of self and pride in her race was instilled in her early by her family, and she joined the Black Panther Party in the late 60s and was committed to their mission. Number 5 in the Black Panther Party's 10-point program states, "We want education that teaches us our true history and our role in the present-day society. We believe in an educational system that will give our people a knowledge of self. If a man does not have knowledge of himself and his position in society and the world, then he has little chance to relate to anything else." Shakur discusses in her book, Assata, an Autobiography, which Angela Davis helped her to write, how she was seeking out more knowledge about Black people and their history, as well as how she was helping the Black Panther Party with their free breakfast program for kids. And she would allow the kids to take home food for their family that weren't allowed to come because it was a program for children, just wishing that she could do more to support them because she really cared for the children. A lasting influence of the work that carries the spirit of Assata Shakur is that the free breakfast programs are still around and thriving today in public schools. And yet, separate and unequal. Students of color are especially disadvantaged due to these racial disparities in schools because segregation in schools contributes to underemployment that can follow students into adulthood. Black students are 3 times more likely than white students to be suspended and or expelled from schools, which is taking time away from learning in a classroom setting and pushing them towards the school to prison pipeline. In conclusion, The effects of racially segregated schools today have apparent disparities that are disadvantaging students of color due to having access to less resources and opportunities that stem from economic inequalities within neighborhoods and school districts. Schools in lower income neighborhoods don't have the same access to funding and may not have advanced college prep courses in comparison to whiter, wealthier districts. Black families need to contact schools and attend board meetings, similarly to the mother at Honey Creek Elementary School, and start asking questions like if their Black children are being taught what they need in order to survive as well as thrive in these current school environments. And are these current school environments guiding and protecting their Black children? Assata Shakur felt estranged from her teachers, classmates, and school curriculum due to the racial disparities that she encountered while attending school as well. And her life's work was motivated by being educated properly to be able to fight against a system that's built against Black people and allowing them to succeed. A reconstruction of the educational curriculum considering the ideas of the Black Panther Party would be extremely beneficial today in making sure that students of color are taken care of within school systems, educated properly, and are set up for lasting success into adulthood. Thanks for listening.